Alright guys, in this video I'm going to show you my top 5 tricep exercises. Now in my training I don't limit myself to only 5 tricep exercises, that would be foolish, but if I had to choose my top 5, these would be them, okay? So the basics of the tricep, there are 3 heads. There's not just one tricep muscle, there's 3 different heads. You've got the medial head, lateral head, and long head. Now, you can't just purely isolate one of those heads when doing a particular exercises. They are all going to engage, but you just got to make sure that you change the type of the exercises which you're doing so you can focus on some of them more than others. So these top 5 is going to consist of 2 pressing movements. They're going to consist of 1 overhead extension and then 2 extensions with the elbow behind or by my side. Okay, so starting off with the pressing movements, we're going to have the close grip barbell press. So with the close grip barbell press, I'll have my hands around shoulder width apart. I'm going to try and keep my elbows in as much as possible. The more you flare them, the less tricep engagement will occur. And you basically want to go down to the point where you get a maximum stretch on the tricep. Don't go too low that your shoulders begin to internally rotate. That's not what you want. Just go down to the bottom, stretch the tricep, and then push up and contract at the top of the movement. The next pressing exercise would be the dips, okay? So you're just basically changing the angle of your torso in this one. I would generally try and keep it as upright as possible to focus on your triceps as opposed to letting your chest do a little bit of the work, because that's often the case when it comes to me and when I do dips. You also want to go down to the point roughly where your triceps are parallel to the ground, okay? If you go any lower, you start to put a little bit of unwanted pressure on the shoulders and it's just a little bit unnecessary. Key thing to remember with this is to keep your shoulders locked in place. Don't allow yourself to elevate your shoulders and depress them too much because you're going to over-engage your traps. The next tricep exercise is the upright double rope cable extension. Now the reason why I've done a double rope is to maximize the range of motion as much as possible. So I'm getting a peak contraction at the bottom of the movement and I'm fully lengthening my triceps at the top. Keep in mind that the cable attachment height and the distance you stand from the actual cable station itself is going to affect where the tension is placed at different points in the movement. So I wouldn't always have the cable attachment at the same height and I wouldn't always stand at the same position. I would vary it from time to time to overload different points in the movement. The next exercise would be an upright overhead extension. Okay, so I'm bringing my elbows pretty much as far back as possible to the point which my shoulders will allow it. Okay, if you've got healthy shoulders, that will allow you to go all the way back so your elbows are pointing to the ceiling. If you do have a little bit of restricted range of motion, this is going to be a little bit difficult for you. I would mix it up by using a barbell or easy bar and then switch it up from doing a dumbbell from time to time. The next exercise is a bent over cable extension, but in this example I'm leaning forward on the bench. So the reason I'm doing it on a bench is just to eliminate any swinging or momentum which could potentially be created by other muscle groups. So I'm keeping my torso fixed in place. Same with my elbows, they're not moving whatsoever. And I'm grabbing opposite side of each cable and I'm going to be extending as much as possible. I really like this one because I get a really good contraction and good burn in my triceps when doing this. Keep in mind that the angle of the bench is going to determine which point in the movement is going to be the most difficult. So I vary it from time to time so you can actually target all different points within the strength curve. So there we go, they're my top 5 tricep exercises if I had to choose, only 5. Keep in mind that the triceps, the 3 tricep heads, actually make up for 2/3 of the volume of your arm, okay? So when it comes to training your arms, you probably want to spend a little bit more time or allocate more training volume to training the triceps, as that's what's actually going to give your arm more thickness and fullness to it. Which exercise you choose is going to really depend on what your tricep looks like. So don't just stick to the same exercises again and again and again. Vary it up from time to time and focus on some of the weaker areas within the 3 tricep heads. So thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe. See you soon.